Morning, how are you? I hope you are well. Welcome back to another studio vlog. Today I am dyeing up the Knit Yarn Club. It closed yesterday. Today is Thursday. I've left it last minute again. Today is Thursday. Well, I mean, I've left filming to the last minute. I haven't left dyeing to the last minute because it ships in the middle of the month. So actually, I'm ahead of schedule. But I wanted to get it done today because why not? So I'm wearing my Gilmore's Glorious Goods t-shirt and thought it only appropriate to wear a horrendous amount of purple eyeshadow for someone who's not really going anywhere today. Before I actually start dyeing yarn though, just thought, good job I had this thought now, I might go down the dye shed, put some yarn on to soak, because then I actually do need to pop out because I need to get more washing up liquid so I can actually wash my yarn after I've dyed it. Otherwise I can't do it. But I was meant to go for a morning walk this morning. But, I mean, I feel quite organised. It's before 9 o'clock. That's quite impressive for me to be starting my day before 9 o'clock. But I do need to go to B&M and get some washing up liquid. So I'm going to do beeline to B&M, beeline back, dye shed. I'll do it that order. Success! I also got some more bleach cleaning spray because it's so good. It's just like bathroom cleaner, but it's got bleach in it. And it's so good for cleaning up dye in the dye shed, so yeah. Down the dye shed, Advent yarn that I've recently dyed. That's the 4th colourway that I've dyed. It's not necessarily day 4, I'm not dyeing them in any particular order. But yes, also I have a pile of boxes forming, 5 massive boxes. I need to go to the tip is what I'm saying and whack them in the big recycling box because they're not going to fit in our recycling bin. No way. But I need to get all this Advent yarn off of the drying rack so I can fill it with Scanlan themed yarn. Scanlan's hand! The enthusiasm is waning. I don't know if you can tell. I've gone tired, so I'm just going to like zhuzh through and then the energy will come back. I've been going for quite a few walks recently, like long walks, and I'm not used to doing that, so my legs feel it. I wanted to go for a walk before work this morning, but that hasn't happened. So I'll go for one later when the sun is hopefully out. But first off, I need to get this yarn off the drying rack and into a bag. Now I need to go and get another box of yarn in because I'm almost all out of my merino sock, which is this cubby here. So I need to get some more because I ordered it, so it's now I need to carry that box down. Luckily it's not as heavy as these pile of boxes were, so I'll take this bag down and come back with another box. Add it to the stack. So in total, I've sold 49 skeins of the Man with the Purple Hand. Scanlan. And yeah, 18 sturdy sock, 5 sparkle. Only 5 sparkle for the Scan brand. Interesting. 19 merino sock, 5 sturdy DK, 1 yak and 1 fluffy lace. Very exciting. I will dye up a few extra because I dye in batches of 4, so selling 49 kind of annoying. Does also mean I get to keep 1, so less annoying. So the dyes are chosen, heavy on the purple, obviously. Not 100% sure if I'm going to use Landscape Scala. I don't know if it's the right shade of pink, but could be nice. I'll see how the rest of it turns out, but I've got a bit of sorbet. I need to get more. I need to do another Landscapes dyes order. My issue is that this, the birds are so noisy. This pot is £10. It's £10 for one pot of this. And that's what, 100 grams. So it's not like a small amount of dye, but you've got to use quite a lot of it to get a deep colour because it's got citric acid already in it. Very annoying. But then, yes, I've got a bit of aubergine. How much are these? Oh, these are 50 grams. Oh, I guess that makes sense. It just doesn't look like much. And then a bit of fluorescent fuchsia for Scanlan's hand. I wanted to use Purple Pop, which is a fluorescent purple, but I'm having real issues with my Purple Pop at the moment. I loved it, and then they had dye shortages in 2020, and then they've reformulated a bunch of stuff, and I'm having real trouble getting it to exhaust, which is when the dye is all sucked up and it doesn't bleed anymore. I'm really struggling to use it without getting any bleeding, which drives me nuts, because it also means I can't dye Metagaming Pigeon how I like to anymore, because I used Purple Pop, and I used an old one when I first did it, and it exhausted and it was fine and lovely, and then when I used the new one it created some very funky colours that I wasn't, you know, overly going for. But I've also got Colourcraft Purple and then a bit of Jacquard in Aztec Gold. I don't have too much of that, so I won't be using too much of that, but I'm excited to see what colour I come up with. Well, that worked out well. I was just looking out the window as I was chatting to you a second ago, and I saw a delivery man, and it was a delivery from area, so I just pegged it down the garden. Anyway, yes, so how I pick out the colours for the Knitted Yarn Club in particular is I put a picture into Canva. I find just one of the like pre-made collage things, and I get rid of all the other pictures. Or you can look for mood board, that also works. And I put in a big picture of the inspiration, and then I use the colour dropper picker to pick the colours, and I dot it around the edge, and it helps me pick out what colours I'm going to dye with. Yeah, lovely. I've really only started doing that this year rather than in previous years. Also whilst I was back in the house. I made myself a cuppa. This is the second one of the day in my little plastic sloth cup. Delightful. Anyway, I need to get dyeing and work out what I'm gonna do. I tend to make it up on the fly. I know a lot of people, when they're dyeing yarn and they're dyeing like clubs and stuff, they tend to like dye test skeins and blah blah blah. I generally don't. Sometimes if it's disastrous, then sure, I write it off, I try again. But not to toot my own horn, it generally comes out how I want it to. I don't know if that's because I've got mad skills or what, but or I'm just so used to like doing things on the fly that it just works out. I've had a couple of times when it has not worked out and it's an utter disaster, but for the most part with the Knit Girl Yarn Club, I quite like what comes out of it anyway. Success. I feel like all the makeup has now come off my nose. Yes, success. I think, I hope. Hopefully it comes out how I want it to. I did end up using this shade of pink just for a bit of speckling and also to mix with one of the other dyes. But yeah, I'm really excited about this. I think it's going to be pretty. I did another colourway called I Killed Her Rock that could also work as a Scanlan colourway. So I was trying really hard to use like completely different dyes and completely different like measurements and stuff, so it came out differently. So hopefully it did. I'm a little concerned. There's no black in this one though, and there was black in that one, so hopefully it'll be okay. As a general rule, I am not a person who toots my own horn. You know, it's the British within. I'm not a horn tooter of my own. Anyway, but I've just I've just rinsed and hung out the first couple of trays. Oh my god, I'm obsessed. Am I going to dye myself up too on yak? Yes, I am. Am I then going to dye up a contrast colour on yak and make myself an elf male? Yes, I am. It's going to be glorious. I'm so excited. Do I need to knit? Do I need to dye myself yarn to knit a jumper? No, I don't. I've got so much yarn in stash, but I'm obsessed. I love it. I love it so much. Unfortunately, I have another jumper to finish before I can cast on the elf male. But still. Oh, I'm so excited. Oh, I've still got more yarn I need to... Oh, I got distracted. So, oh my god. Oh, I just checked my phone email and I've just got an email from my accountant. I have an accountant now. It's very exciting. She's done my taxes for the last financial year because in the UK our financial year goes from April to April. The 6th of April till the 5th of April. I don't know why. I'm sure there's a reason. Anyway, she's worked out how much tax I owe. I need to pay £12.3 thousand in taxes at the end of January. That's a lot of money. And it's because I've already paid a bit towards the next the bit towards the next tax year. Basically, after you get over a certain amount of earnings, you have to start paying towards the next year. It's ridiculous. It's not ridiculous, but it's annoying. So what it is that I have to pay off the rest of the last financial year plus half of what they predict the current financial year will be. And essentially, it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. How stressful. Also, she said it might be worthwhile becoming a limited company, but I don't know if it's too late now because May's takings were very good because Advent season. So, yeah, I'm not sure if I'm already over the threshold, what that means. Anyway, these are all the fun and exciting things that you have to deal with when you own a small business. I've tried for the last 3 years to like keep it to like a certain level, which just means that I've just not been earning as much as I could have done. And also with cost of living going up, actually my take-home pay has gone down because the VAT threshold hasn't gone up. So with the VAT threshold not going up for the last 6 years and the cost of living and also the cost of all of my supplies and everything having increased by like a chunk, I'm taking home less money. But anyway, taxes are necessary. I'm not complaining about the fact I have to pay taxes. I'm complaining about the fact that I have to pay so much. But it's okay. Now I know how much I need, how much I owe. I can set it aside in my business bank account. I can set it to one side and then not spend it because I've got it in the business bank account. So I can set it aside because, you know, you're meant to set your taxes aside, but sometimes I don't. So with the Advents having come in, I can set that in a pot in my bank account, not touch it like I have done shipping costs. And then whatever I have left is what I have left. Because it's not my money if it's tax money, is it? No. I hate it so much. Little update for you all. I've got 3 trays left to dye up, and the yak that I dyed looked a little too brown in the sun because I just used aubergine and a little bit of purple. So I'm going to try and over dye it with some purple and hopefully it gets a nice deep purple. We'll see. Also, I have to go knock on my neighbour's door because a parcel was delivered and I missed it, and it's at her house, so I need to go knock on her door and inevitably have a chat with her. But I mean, it's fine, I appreciate it. It's much easier doing that than scheduling a redelivery, but sometimes I'm antisocial. Often I'm antisocial. But yes, so I need to go get the parcel off her. But yeah, I'm almost done. It's getting a bit toasty in here now. And yeah, just 3 more trays. All the yarn is dyed. What success. I'm very hot. I'm leaving this tray to cool for a bit and then I'll come back down and rinse it. And I need to get some WD-40 on that door. It's driving me nuts. But yeah, it's all outside. It will all be dry very quickly. It's going to get really toasty this weekend. It's going to be like 25 degrees on Sunday, which I'm excited for. I'm hoping to get some yarn dyed and work it outside to dry. Yes, but for right now, I'm going to go inside and sit down. So, I rinsed all the yarn and I've washed out all the trays and hung it out, and it hung out for a little bit, but then we barbecued, so I took it inside because we've got this really fancy gas barbecue. So we went to Welbeck Farm Shop, which is a little bit of a trek away, but it's a super fancy farm shop, and bought some very tasty varieties of meats. We got some tomato sausages, which is what we have for dinner, with some Maria grilled some veggies, and we had it with some bread that is a friend made, because of course when you're a baker you have friends who are bakers. It's just the way of the world. And then I went for a walk, went for a nice evening walk, which was delightful. And I mean, it's not what I needed because I really didn't want to go. My legs are sore today, especially after the dye day that I just had. Like, it's quite physically intensive dyeing yarn, but I am glad that I did go because it always feels nice to do. And I mean, I'm trying to be better at exercising more because I've just I became quite sedentary, which I mean is fine. But at the same time, I was starting to feel a bit gross, so I'm trying really hard to like get back into the swing of things. So I'll show you some clips from my walk of various things that I felt relevant to film. just got back. Well, I got back about 8:15 and then I went up and chatted to Mario because he's in bed and should be asleep, but isn't asleep, but he should be asleep. And it's still so light outside. I love it. And then, yeah, I might read a bit more of this, Legends and Lattes. After I filmed that podcast episode, that studio vlog where I was saying that I couldn't get into it, I sat and read it and then got into it. I'm not like, I must read the next chapter point yet, but I'm only on chapter 4, so give it time. But I might sit and read it for a bit this evening. It's either that or I work on my new project that I've been working on. This is my, not donation, submission into the Knitters and Critters make-along, which is a TTRPG, tabletop role-playing game, make-along. And I'm doing the Just Feel Cozy shawl, which is a pattern by Kalisha Ryan, who's Nadira Tani, get the consonants the right way around, and host of the Quirky Monday podcast. And it's using my 2022 Chromatic Yarns advent calendar. Don't worry, I've still got my 2022 Cost for Yarns advent calendar, so I will still be having an Advents of December's Past make along. But this is such a quick knit crochet project. I am a little concerned because what colour am I on? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm about to start colour 11, which means I'm almost halfway through. It's not very long, but maybe, well, I can stretch it. It will block out. I'm using my 5mm Pedro's Plaques crochet hook with my little bumbly bee on. Very cute. And I explained this in a Patreon vlog, so I won't go into and I'll talk about it in the podcast, so I won't go into too much detail. I'm just doing it a little bit differently and kind of almost fading in the next colourway. And yeah, I'm being very good. I'm making sure that I get rid of the scraps and I don't just hoard them. I know. And I'm weaving in the ends as I go, so I would say I'm onto a win-win-win with this for shoresies. But yeah, I could work on this a little bit more, but I think I'm going to read instead. But yeah, I'm just about to start day 11, which was Druid Grove. I could try and dye that up again because it's actually a really pretty colourway. Let's see, I'll see what I can do before going into Conjure Woodland Beings. Greens are a bit of a tricky one. I mean, I've got quite the green section here, but greens are a bit of a tricky one because very few people buy them. People don't generally like greens. Greens and orange and yellow are not colours people go for, which I understand because they're not colours I go for, but yeah. I'm excited. I'm enjoying working up. And if it does work out too short, then it will just be a nice little lap blanket, but hopefully it won't be too short because I am following the pattern. I mean, I didn't swatch, so that is partly on me, but we'll see. Anyway, I'm going to get reading and love you and leave you. So thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps me out. And if you haven't already and you like what you see, it would be wonderful if you were to subscribe. I post a new video here every week and it would be nice to have you along for the ride, so come along. Also, if you want to see more from me, I have social media accounts. I mean, this is one of them, but I have other ones. Link can be found in the description box below, along with anything else I think you might need. If you want to support me on Patreon, there's obviously no pressure at all. You don't have to. You watching my videos here is support enough. But if you did want to, you get an extra video a week by joining the Biscuit Brew Crew over on Patreon for £5 a month. So no pressure either way, but if you did want to, wonderful. If you don't want to, absolutely understandable, and that is fine. Leave me a comment down below. Are you taking part in the Knitters and Critters make along? What are you making? What other projects have you been up to? All of that fun stuff. Please comment. I love a natter. You know I love a natter. I also have a Discord, speaking of nattering. Anyway, by the by, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being here. It's been wonderful spending the day with you, and I hope you have a fabulous weekend. And with all that being said, I will see you very soon in the next video. Bye.